this is from the PowerPoint that we usually use when we introduce the topics and the work that we do in Sourcing Our Oneness, mainly with the 12 qualities, but also with the 4 aspects of the mother, the gardens, the flowers, etc. So the Matri Mandir is literally mother symbol. Okay, so here we have the Matri Mandir, and it's surrounded by the 12 petals. Okay. First we have the inner chamber, which is here. The light comes down, it goes straight through and down into the floor in the lotus pond. It's pure white light, no? Okay. Then we have the 4 pillars. So here the entrance is where you go up. That is part of the pillars, which holds, because the Matri Mandir is kind of hanging in the air with these pillars. Because the mother gave names to these pillars, we know that from before that of the 4 is petals, no, which are representing the 4 aspects of the Divine Mother. Sri Aurobindo already told that upwards was Mahakali, no? But the other 3, this is to my knowledge, we were not aware of. But Mother gave the names of these pillars. Mahakali to the north, Mahalakshmi to the east, Mahasaraswati to the west, and Maheshwari to the south. And then I also tell these things because it's important to understand just how important Matri Mandir is. It's a living symbol, and it has tools for us. I'm sure what we are finding now is we are just touching the surface. But as we grow in consciousness, we will more and more deeply understand the Matri Mandir. The Matri Mandir 4 pillars, the 4th pillar, the Mahakali pillar, was completed at 7:25 p.m. on the 17th November 1973. It's exactly the same time as the mother passed away in Pondicherry at 7:25 p.m. 17th November 73. I was in the ashram a few weeks before mother passed, no? And when you went for meditation, etc., you could hear mother upstairs, no? And you could kind of feel the pain, etc. I don't want to talk about it, but it was very clear, okay, that it was not easy for her. She stayed in her body till the last pillar was completed. When that pillar, Mahakali pillar, was completed in the evening, she left her body. So this is the importance of the Matri Mandir, that she was hanging on till that point. Very conscious, no? Okay. So the 12 petals, again, which comes here, outside, they correspond to the 12 powers or qualities of the mother symbol. Sri Aurobindo says, essentially, in general principle, the 12 powers are the vibrations that are necessary for the complete manifestation. And Mother says it is the symbol of manifestation, double perfection in essence and in manifestation in the creation. So these are 12 powers of manifestation. And Mother actually has talked about these 12 already in 1912 or so with the group she worked with in France. She didn't give the names then. In 1927, at the same time, it must have been approximately, that the book The Mother was published. Mother Sri Aurobindo gave the colors of the petals, and Mother gave the names. Then we know that disciples were speaking with them about that. We have information about that, and I think in the 50s, Mother spoke also about it in maybe the evening classes or so. And then in 71, when Roger Anger, the architect, had asked Sat Prem, who was close to Mother, to ask for the names for the 12 meditation petals, the Mother told him, the first 8 concern the attitude towards the divine, and the last 4 towards humanity. So the first 8 are sincerity, humility, gratitude, perseverance, aspiration, receptivity, progress, and courage. They concern our attitude towards the divine. So in our work, in Sourcing Our Oneness, we see this as our integrity. This is between us and the divine. Those 8 qualities are established in that context of our growth. And the last 4 relate towards humanity. Goodness, generosity, equality, and peace. And when you work with it, you see they cover all the fields of interaction. So, then we have the matrimonial gardens. And the mother said that the gardens were as important as the matrimonial itself. And from what I have understood, while the petals are tools or powers or qualities or virtues, the gardens represent fields of consciousness. So Mother said about the gardens must be a thing of great beauty, of such beauty that when people come they will say, this is it. It must be an expression of that consciousness which we are trying to bring down. And then she added, one must know how to move from consciousness to consciousness. And she also said that we had in the gardens, when we make them, they should kind of be made or created or show, or you feel, the highest level of consciousness that we can have at that moment. So, and then we all know, most of us at least, or many of us, that Mother worked with the flowers. Okay? So I think that in those last years of her life, of course she was there in the ashram for ashramite, that I'm not questioning. But what the things she was working on the transformation of the physical in the body. She was working on Auroville, and she was doing the work on the flowers. So the big collection of the flowers in the flower books, I think we have from those last years. And I remember in the ashram, you would sometimes see people come with big plates with huge hibiscuses to bring to Mother. Very beautiful.
It was in the year?
This is a 71, I remember it from.
So you met Mother at that time?
Yeah,
when she was in the physical body, no?
Yes.
Yeah, you saw her. Also.
Yes, I saw her 1 balcony darshans, and twice I was in the line to her room. Didn't speak or anything like that, but that shifted my life. Meeting her, then I knew what my life was, what was the aim in my life. I was come to India because I was searching for a meaning to life, a deep meaning, And I met one spiritual teacher who told me, you keep looking till you find what you're really searching for. And I was feeling, I come to this place and I'm feeling completely at home here. I would just sit down and stay here with this person, So she shook me up with that. And then I traveled for totally 11 months, but maybe after 9 months or so, I went finally to Pondicherry. And when I met the Mother, then I knew this is what I am looking for, or what I was looking for. This is it. Now I'm there. So, and I still had a lifelong relationship with this other person, my love and respect, and I'm most grateful for. But this was my path. So, what Mother has done, there is some almost 800 something, almost 900 flowers. She has given us the name and the meaning of what they are communicating and what we can find help in them. For the matrimonial gardens, she gave one flower for each garden, a special flower. And that again gives us an inclination of kind of help in attitude and like that, So these are the garden. I can take, for example, the garden of power, because I've looked a lot at that one. So generosity is the petal. Each garden emerges from a petal. So the petal is generosity. Generosity has 2 strong qualities. Now I'm telling you what came to me when I was working with it. Generosity has the capacity to dissolve. Something by an act of true generosity, most difficult things stuck for hundreds of years can just dissolve in a moment, and things can shift like that with an act of generosity. And generosity is extremely contagious. So we look at the gardens. You have the garden of power. On one side is the garden of life, the other the garden of wealth. And to shift power because power is very stuck. We hang on to power, we hold on, we grab it, we elbow to get it. If you take generosity as a quality to bring in when you work with it, because generosity eliminates also fear. There's no fear when you are in a movement of generosity. So you have generosity to work with as a tool to shift power, but you also have this flower which is called aesthetic power. And then she says beauty is a great power, which to me means we should do our environment, everything we create beauty will help to harmonize all these things, for example, of power. So when we do a place, we do it beautiful because it's easier. When you are in beauty, there is fear is not in the same way. So much is fear-based. No? So these are elements we can take now. And look, I'm not going to talk about the other ones now. But so that was just to kind of touch on these things, what we talk about when we introduce the way of working now. So then I want to bring it to the city. Because all of Oroville is the same, like I can show that there is some, how to say it. The symbols are alive. They are something we work with. They are real and reality, and they work for shift inside. And you can enter them in many, many different ways. It's not one way, it's not one single truth, this is like this is like that. No, you can explore. The Galaxy Master Plan, I don't know how to say it. Here you see the plan as it was signed on by Mother. This was, she said, yeah, this is it, we go with this one. The master plan has key elements. So key elements are Matri Mandir, the gardens. Then you have the peace area, which is there, the lake comes first. On the other side of the lake, inside, this is the crown which goes here. This is what we have been busy with now to get in place. Crown and radials, which goes in the same pattern as these buildings you see, are part of the mobility. Oroville already in 1965 was created for a mobility, a city where you could walk and move with collective electrical traffic and cycling, etc., anywhere. You don't, no cars inside. It was mobility for that kind of traffic. She said 15 kilometers per hour. And I think we can a little bit wonder what happens when we move 15 kilometers per hour instead of 40, 50, like we do now in our stress situation. How are we kind of moving fast, slowly? Anyway, so you have Matri Mandir, petals, gardens, lake, the crown. Here is the industrial zone, international zone, residential zone, and cultural zone. And actually they wanted to start the city building like this. It's like, you could say it's like an 8. Or you can say it's like a pair of wings here. The international zone and the cultural zone. Those two hang together. For me it's a bit like a bumblebee, no? You don't think a bumblebee can fly actually because the body is so heavy, but those wings can carry it. There is some dynamics to it, no? These are the lines of force. 50,000 people are supposed to live in this area. So it's working with density. And that goes again forward towards ecology, etc., and energy consumption and cleaning of water and recycling. Financially, you can do this when you have density. And for the cities, we need to build things which are dense, but which have beauty and which are actually enhancing for human beings. Not like the high-rise, which is very insulating. Or also if you build in lines along roads, etc., it's also insulating. No? I'm going through this very fast, so it's a bit like that. I wanted to show here, this is the crown, okay? So this is inside the peace area. Now, what is put closest to the Matri Mandir? This is here we live, here we work, but we work and live in other places also, but mainly no. Now, this area here, which comes like this, closest to Matri Mandir and going up to here, These are the schools. The children and their education is placed the closest to the soul here. Then, on the opposite side here, closest, we have the whole organization. How do you say, like the governance of Oroville sits here, okay, close to the soul. Not politics, this is something else. Then, behind here, you have also inside the crown, but here you have the vocational training. So here you're basically educating all the people who will be building the city and maintaining the city. Then you have industries. So what comes close, those things, maintaining, keeping quality, all these things, governance, children, the future, all this is very close to Mahmoud. It's very symbolic. So I hope I have not messed up the explanation. Now I want to show, this is very recent, what we have been doing work in this research. Looking at the city, it seems you can say, because 7 is a very, very important number in India. No? You see also with Sri Aurobindo, he talks about 7 again and again and again when he talks about the supramental, the chakras, the supramental sun, different kind of worlds. The 7 comes back again and again. So basically we have, and you have the 7 chakras. So basically you would have Matrimandiya corresponding to the crown chakra. Then you have the petals. It comes back to the tools.